Imagine waking up to headlines that shake your portfolio before you've had your coffee today. March 22nd, 2026 is one of those Sundays. Welcome to the Crypto Sunday Report, where I break down what matters in blockchain and digital assets fast. What's in store? A Bitcoin price leap, a DeFi protocol hack, new policy from G20, and how AI bots are shifting trading patterns. If you're wondering if this is just more hype, let me promise you, today's news could impact your investments, your job, and even your morning routine. So let's unpack the numbers, decode the jargon, and see what today's wave of crypto headlines really means for you. Let's start with the big one. Bitcoin just crossed $120,000 for the first time ever, up 8% overnight. You might wonder, is this a repeat of 2021's mania? Not quite. This time, institutional inflow is the engine, and spot Bitcoin ETFs are the fuel. Spot ETFs are like mutual funds that let you own Bitcoin without managing wallets, a game changer for risk-averse investors. But with futures contracts driving leveraged bets, volatility remains a wild card. Like oil and water, sometimes they mix, sometimes they explode. Are we in bubble territory, or are new frameworks stabilizing the ride? The answer is as complex as a cryptographic hash, but smarter tools are helping investors ride the wave. Early Sunday, DeFi protocol NovaSwap reported a $190 million exploit, the largest since 2022. You might ask, how can code be so vulnerable? Smart contracts, though automated, can harbor logic bugs like hidden trapdoors in a skyscraper's blueprint. Flash loan attacks and Oracle manipulations, think of them as hackers, using instant, uncollateralized crypto loans as crowbars, are at fault. NovaSwap's team froze the platform, but not before attackers siphoned assets to privacy layer blockchains. For users, this is a wake-up call. DeFi's promise of trustless finance also demands relentless vigilance. In a landmark move, the G20 announced a unified regulatory framework for stablecoins, digital tokens pegged to fiat currencies like the dollar. Why does this matter? Well, stablecoins are the rails for crypto payments, but until now, they've dodged global compliance like a game of regulatory whack-a-mole. The new policy mandates real-time auditing and capital reserves, similar to how banks must keep cash on hand. But friction remains. Some member states argue that too much oversight could stifle innovation. Are we about to see the first global digital dollar? Maybe not yet, but the rails are being laid today. AI-powered bots now account for over 45% of crypto trading volume, a dramatic shift from human-driven speculation. Why does that matter to you? Imagine algorithms trading millions of dollars in nanoseconds, like chess grandmasters playing on thousands of boards at once. These bots use machine learning to identify arbitrage, profiting from tiny price gaps between exchanges. But for retail traders, this can mean sharper spikes and faster trend reversals, making manual trading feel like sailing in a storm with no compass. So, are humans outmatched? Or is there still room for personal strategy? It's a new arms race, and everyone's recalibrating their playbook. Ethereum just rolled out its long-awaited Shanghai upgrade, aiming to slash transaction fees and boost throughput. If you've ever been stung by a $50 gas fee, you know why this matters. Layer 2 rollups, think express lanes on a congested highway, are now natively integrated. The Shanghai upgrade also introduces EIP 7777, a new token standard that's like giving every coin its own digital passport. Initial benchmarks show average fees down 38% and confirmation times halved. Will this cement Ethereum's dominance, or just spark another round of competition? Only time and developer adoption will tell. Solana is up 20% this week, riding on the back of a new NFT protocol that streamlines digital asset minting. Avalanche announced a government partnership to pilot a land registry on their blockchain, a major real-world use case. Meanwhile, Sui, a newcomer, is attracting developer interest with its parallel execution engine, a bit like running dozens of assembly lines at once. Altcoins are no longer just speculative plays. They're becoming the testbeds for innovations that could shape the next web. Keep an eye out. Today's experiments could be tomorrow's global standards. NFTs aren't just digital art anymore. They're powering real estate deeds and event ticketing. This week, a Miami condo sold as an NFT, streamlining transfer and reducing paperwork to smart contract clicks. Major festivals are adopting NFT tickets that prevent scalping and guarantee authenticity. acting like tamper-proof wristbands. Are we witnessing the end of paper deeds and counterfeit tickets? Legacy industries are watching closely, some bracing for disruption. So, could your next concert ticket be a digital collectible? At this rate, don't be surprised if it's minted on your phone. Unconfirmed reports suggest the SEC is drafting new rules to classify certain crypto tokens as digital commodities rather than securities. This sounds technical, but the distinction could reshape the market. Commodities are subject to lighter oversight, like gold versus company stock. Crypto companies are lobbying to avoid the heavy burden of securities regulation. Think less red tape, more innovation. If these guidelines pass, we could see a flood of compliant token launches from US-based teams. But the fine print matters. As always, regulation is a moving target, and the devil's in the details. Crypto mining is back in the spotlight as global hash rate computational power securing networks hits an all-time high. Why now? Cheap renewable energy is powering new farms in Iceland and Canada, turning geothermal and hydropower into Bitcoin's backbone. Hash rate is like the horsepower of crypto, and while it makes networks harder to attack, it also raises environmental questions. Major miners are racing to certify their blocks as green, hoping to attract eco-conscious investors and lower regulatory risk. Will green mining be the future, or is it just a marketing ploy? The answer may shape the next phase of crypto adoption. Top exchange Bitfront reported an outage overnight, leaving users locked out and jittery about their funds. Now, you might be thinking, has my crypto been hacked? The company says it's a systems upgrade gone wrong, not a breach. Still, exchange downtime is like the lights going out in a bank. Confidence erodes fast. Incident response teams are restoring service, but withdrawals are paused for at least 12 hours. It's a stark reminder. Not your keys, not your coins. Having a hardware wallet is more than old advice. It's survival strategy. Crypto adoption in Africa and Southeast Asia hit record highs this quarter, fueled by unstable local currencies and mobile-first infrastructure. Stablecoins like USDC are bridging remittances and everyday payments, operating like digital dollars in your pocket. Peer-to-peer exchanges, bypassing traditional banks, are empowering people where access to finance was once a distant dream. But risks remain. Lack of regulation and education leaves users exposed to scams and volatility. Will crypto become the financial backbone for developing economies? The leapfrog effect is real. It's happening as we speak. Metaverse tokens like Mana and Sand rallied 35% this week, following news of a global fashion brand launching a virtual storefront. But are we seeing real adoption, or just speculative bubbles? The distinction hinges on user engagement and cross-platform utility. Smart contracts in the metaverse act like vending machines, instantly dishing out goods, services, or experiences to avatars. Interoperability is the buzzword. Tokens must work seamlessly across worlds, or risk becoming digital dead ends. The verdict? The metaverse remains a high-risk frontier, but brands and investors aren't waiting for a map. Let's wrap up this Whirlwind Crypto Sunday with 3 key takeaways. First, Bitcoin shattering $120K signals institutional confidence, but volatility's still part of the dance. Think of leverage as gasoline on the fire. Second, DeFi's NovaSwap hack and regulatory moves show both the promise and peril of innovation. Smart contracts can unlock new worlds, but also new risks. Third, adoption is global, spanning from metaverse tokens to emerging market payments. Proof that the crypto story is bigger than any one coin. Your action step? Secure your assets. Check your exchange exposure. Review your hardware wallet. And stay tuned for new rules from the G20 and SEC. Next episode, we'll dive into quantum computing. Will it crack crypto's code or fortify it? Hit subscribe and keep your edge in the crypto news race.